Om Shri Sai Ram. I take the pleasure of introducing the first speaker of this two-day summer course, Sri Chandrashekar DV, widely known as DV Sir. Hailing from Bhadrachalam, Telangana, DV Sir became Swami student in the year 1993. He did his higher secondary schooling at the school in Prashanthi Nilayam and went on to complete his BSc and MSc in physics from Sri Sathya Institutes of Higher Learning. In both school and college, he received gold medals for academic excellence from Bhagwan himself. On Swami's divine command, DV Sir dedicated his life to Swami's healthcare mission by joining this very hospital. He has been serving at this hospital since its inception in the year 2001. The permanent exhibition about Swami's life and glory that you would not have missed on the way to this hall was set up by the team that DV Sir had led. Presently, he is the senior manager of radiology and neurosciences departments. Outside work, DV Sir was the first youth coordinator of Sai Samiti of this hospital. He served as the Samiti convener between 2014 and 2019 and went on to be the district president of Bengaluru East District of Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations until November 2022. DV Sir actively participates in the Veda Poshana initiatives. He conducts classes for Balavikas Gurus and Vedanta aspirants on various sacred texts. I now request DV Sir to take the stage to talk about Indian culture and spirituality. Thank you.
Om Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering my humble pranams at Bhagwan's divine lotus feet, respected elders, and my dear sisters and brothers. At the very outset, I would like to offer my gratitude to Bhagwan and the team of organizers for giving me this opportunity to participate in this noble event. In the next couple of minutes, actually I've been given 1 hour and I've started 12 minutes late. I hope I'll be given 12 minutes more. In the next couple of minutes, the topic given to me is the greatness of Bharatiya Sanskriti and Adhyatmikata. Loosely translated as greatness of Indian culture and spirituality. So this is something that most of the people, especially the youth and children, tend to take it lightly, right? But I want to tell you that I am dead serious about this. So I hope that all of you are going to be equally serious on a lighter note. So I won't be disappointing you. I hope all of you are breakfast and mentally prepared for a heavy dose of quote-unquote philosophy. So in case that's already making you sleepy and drowsy because of the heavy dose, then I should start with Vivekananda's Uttishtata Jagrata Prapya Varam Nibodhata. Arise, awake, and I will not stop till you wake up from your sleep and slumber. Let me start with a disclaimer. I am not an expert or a pundit on this particular topic. I don't have all the answers if at all you have any questions. But I am a seeker on this path like any one of you. And I'm not here to dump sort of loads of facts and figures about what India is and Indian culture, etc. And I hope there is no assessment so that there is no pass, fail, cut off and things like that. So don't worry too much about that and take stress. I am here to just give a brief overview of my limited understanding of what is Bharatiya culture. And I'm sure this is going to be a race against time. And I'm also almost sure that I'm going to be run out. So let me get started. So Swami, as sir has mentioned, Swami had started summer courses in 1972. And I had personally the opportunity to participate in a couple of them when I studied in, I had the fortune to study in Bhagwan's university between 1995 and 2000. So all the content that is there, what you're going to see and what I'm going to speak on, is directly from what I heard from Bhagwan or from literature or what I heard from scholars during the summer courses and during my stay in both Vrindavan and Bhakti. In the first summer course, 1972, Swami made, when he was, the first summer course, so he was exhorting the students, right, to participate in it, listen, as I was saying, listen intently and absorb and assimilate what was being told. Interestingly, Swami said, who do you think all of you are, having come to attend the summer course? All of you are students of the course, right? All of you would be students of this summer course. But interestingly, Swami said, no. All of you are attending this course in the role of teachers. Like everybody said, we are coming here for the first time. We don't even know what Bharatiya Samskriti is. And Swami is already referring to us as teachers. And then Swami actually went on to explain, saying that teacher, he used the word acharya. And he specifically said, all of us are here. Who is an acharya? Acharati iti acharya. One who practices and then tells others. So someone asked the question, how do we ensure that more and more youth come here, right? The only way they are going to be encouraged is by seeing you practice and derive the joy. When they see you that you are so happy and then with absolute clarity and confidence, that is when more and more youth, you will be an example for them to actually come for such summer courses. So, Swami himself has identified, we relate to Swami as God, mother, father, etc. But Swami wants us to relate to him, wants to identify him as Aham Sathya Bodhaka. He is the teacher of truth. So he himself is a teacher who follows truth, who is an embodiment of truth, and he wants us to become the same. So this Bharatiya Samskriti is obviously an ocean, right? So we are just standing on the shore of the ocean and then enjoying its beauty, majesty, and etc. And we dare not step into it, otherwise we'll be submerged because of its sheer vastness and depth. But fortunately or unfortunately, the treasures lie deep in the ocean. They are not found on the shores. So at least a few little bit of dive into this ocean and then pick up some pearls so that we have some use to our life. So our human intellect and consciousness are too small and too limited for us to understand or grasp this entire, Bharatiya Samskriti, which is like an ocean. So let me start with Kalidasa. You have heard of Mahakavi Kalidasa, right? So when he debuted, first cricket match somebody debuts, right? So Kalidasa was debuting his work, and by the time he picked stalwarts like Bhasa and they were very famous. So he's a new kid on the block, they say, right? He was starting with Malavikagni Mitra. He wrote a drama. And then, just to silence his critics, right? His critics may say that, after all, what does he know? And then you should have followed standard convention and practice. So he says, Purana Mityeva Nasadhu Sarvam, Nachapi Kavyam Navamitya Padyam. Santah pariksham yatarat bhajante modha parapratyaniya buddhi. Which means, I nearly knew for this entire thing, but just because something is old doesn't mean that that is something great. And just because something is new, it doesn't mean that something is inferior. If you are wise, the wise people actually listen, test for themselves, experience it, and then decide for themselves what you should do and what you should not do. Parapratyene buddhi mudha. The fools actually just blindly follow whatever others say. If you see this this shloka, right, it's applicable even today. Indians are actually, or Bharatiyas, are actually blindly aping the West without even trying to understand for yourself what is right, what is wrong. So what was, there was a famous novelist called Ben Okri. No, he writes a novel. So he said that if you want to poison people, right, poison their stories. Poison what they believe in. If you poison them, automatically they will be poisoned. What the West did was, most of them, whatever our stories are actually written by the, chronicled by the Western people. Why? Because they had the advantage of technology, right? So if you see all the blogs, all the information where we are searching as sources of information, you go and try to search for a Sanskrit word meaning. The first thing that comes up is Sanskrit dictionary by Monier Williams. Sir Monier Williams, nothing wrong. But the thing is, our Sanskrit dictionary has been compiled by Sir Monier Williams, a Britisher. Why? The Sanskrit is this, it is born in this land. So our view of Bharat cannot be through the lens of a Westerner. It should be our own. It should be our story. We are here to listen to our version of our story, not our story, somebody else's version of our story. Right? So that is why it is important that we go back to the source and not through the intermediaries who have interpreted it or misunderstood it or limitedly understood it. So it's time that we tell our own story. So this is where our story starts. In our tradition, right? Whenever a topic is given, you start with what that word means, etymology, right? Sanya, artha. What is the meaning of each of them? So before I speak, I hope this video will play. Let me attempt that if it's. This is just an audio.
These are operators my student.
భారతదేశము ఆధ్యాత్మిక తత్వములను దాన ధర్మములను పుట్టింది.
Bharat is the birthplace for spirituality, the righteous conduct, and charity.
అహింసకు శాంతికి మెట్టిని.
It has been the center of non-violence and peace.
భారతీయులకు ఉండినటువంటి సత్యవ్రతము మరి ఏ దేశీయులకు కూడా లేదని చెప్పవచ్చు.
It can be definitely stated that adherence to truth is found here in Bharat, nowhere else in the world.
పవిత్ర సత్పురుషులు జన్మించినటువంటి భూమి ఈ భరత భూమి.
Bharat has been birthplace of all the 7 sages.
ఆదికవి అయినటువంటి వాల్మీకి పుట్టినటువంటి యొక్క భూమి ఈ భరత భూమి.
Bharat is the birthplace of the first poet, the first composer, Valmiki.
అనేక సంవత్సరములు ధర్మ పరిపాలన చేసినటువంటి యొక్క రాముడు ఏలినటువంటి రాజ్యభూమి.
This is Bharat place which is ruled by Rama, the embodiment of Dharma.
కృష్ణుని బోధించినటువంటి యొక్క గీతా భూమి.
This is the land where the song celestial Gita is stopped.
ఆత్మకు పరమాత్మకు ఉండినటువంటి జీవతత్వాన్ని గుర్తించినటువంటి భూమి ఈ భరత భూమి.
Bharat is the place where the relationship between the individual and the cosmic soul is well understood and interpreted.
వ్యక్తి సమష్టి యొక్క ఏకత్వాన్ని భరించినటువంటిది ఈ భారత భూమి.
Bharat is the place where There's absolute unison, harmony between the individual and the community.
ఇట్టి పవిత్రమైన భూమి, ఇట్టి త్యాగమైన భూమి, ఇట్టి ధర్మమైన భూమి, ఇట్టి యొక్క శాంతివంతమైన భూమిని మరొక దేశంలో మనం కానుగా.
We don't find anywhere in the world a land equal to Bharat, which is the place of all sacredness, sacrifice, righteousness, and peace.
భరత భూమి ఎందు, భరత భూమి గాలి ఎందు సత్యం ఉన్నది.
There you find the truth pervading all over the air in Bharat.
భరత భూమి ధూళి ఎందు కరుణ ఉంటున్నది.
There is compassion in the dust of Bharat.
భరత భూమి నేల ఎందు కరుణ ఉంటున్నది.
On the earth of Bharat there is kindness.
భరత భూమి గంగ ఎందు ప్రేమ ఉన్నది.
There in the Ganga of Bharat there is love.
ప్రతి మానవుని హృదయము క్షమా హృదయమే.
In fact, the heart of everyone is the center of forbearance.
ఇట్టి పవిత్రమైనటువంటి దివ్యమైన భవ్యమైన నవ్యమైనటువంటి గుణములు ఒక భారతదేశంలో మాత్రమే కనిపిస్తున్నది.
Such noble, divine, unique, ever fragrant, ever effulgent qualities are found in Bharat alone.
So that is what the avatar had to say about this land of Bharat. So if you see the key words that Swami has used, Bharat is a karma bhumi, tyaga bhumi and yoga bhumi. And this you will find Swami, is not tired of repeating it again and again and again. That, tell me one common thing that, a common shloka or anything where you found a reference for the word Bharat. Any common shloka that we already know? Bharat, Bharata. I'm sure everybody knows. Something from the scriptures. Janaganamana is too modern. No? Clue will give you. One Bhagavad Gita shloka. Exactly. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata. Who is Bharata here? Whom is he referring to? He is addressing whom? In that shloka he is addressing Arjuna only. The Bharata is Arjuna. Basically he is saying, oh Arjuna, oh descendant of Bharat or Bharata. So now we know that that reference actually is because Arjuna was in the lineage of Chandrashekar. There was a king by name Bharata. All of us know about him, right? Bharata. He is also called, he is the son of Dushyanta and Shakuntala. Basically grandson of our friend Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra's grandson is Bharata. So we are all descendants of that great lineage. So that is one common reference. Geographically, if you see, Bharat is, Mero, Dakshina, Digbage, Sri Pradesh, etc. We identify, the subcontinent called India. But that is a geographical concept of India. Swami's or the Arsha Drishti is, Bharat is not, you cannot reduce Bharat to a mere piece of land or a piece of, that's too physical. In Bharatiya thought was never physical, it was always metaphysical. So, this Bharat has reference, you can say Bharata also. Bharata, you know another Bharata, right? Rama's brother Bharata. So anyone who led a very glorious and set an example, ideal for mankind, we associate our name of the country with that. Or there is one more Bharata in Bhagavatam it comes, his name was Jala Bharata. He was also a very great king, renounced his kingdom and then went to the forest and then did tapas. His story itself is a very inspirational one in Bhagavatam. So, and there was another Bharata king who was the son of Rishabhadeva, who is considered one more avatar of Lord Vishnu. So in that sense, if you see, it is associated, the name is associated with all ideal emperors or kings who have ruled this holy land. But that's a little bit of history. In reality, we refer to Bharata or Bharata Mata, right? Our culture, we refer to our Matrubhumi, our Bhumi as mother and motherland. Why? Because it is she who is responsible for our birth and sustenance. In Mahabharata, the quotation that you see there, right, that is what is the definition of Bharat is Bhati Sarveshu Shastreshu Ratis Sarveshu Jantushu Taranam Sarvatim Thanam Tena Bharata Uchyate. Bhati Sarveshu Shastreshu, the one which has given the light of wisdom through all the scriptures. Ratis Sarveshu Jantushu, which loves or whose compassion is for Sarva Jantushu. Not, the word used is not man, Jantushu, any living being. And Taranam Sarva Tirthanam. It is actually the place of redemption among all the Tirtha Kshetra, holy places. The entire Bharat, it is not, some places in Bharat are holy. The entire Bharat is holy. Tell me why? How can entire Bharat be holy? Because Rama walked from end to end. Pandavas walked the entire thing end to end to sanctify this land. You know the story of Sati, Mother Sati, right? Who actually sacrificed herself, self-immolated herself because somebody spoke, her own father spoke against her husband, and unable to tolerate that, she actually self-immolated herself. And for that great act of Pativrati or sacrifice, Lord Shiva, even after she passed away, he was holding on to her. And the story goes that Lord Vishnu used his Sudarshan Chakra, and the pieces of all such a holy body fell in different parts of India. Therefore, entire India is Shakti. Right? Therefore, what more holy can there be than the body of Mother Divine? Every single limb of it is spread across the entire Bharat. So that is the reason why any amount of external influence, right? So many people, Muslims came, the Turks came, there's British rule, etc., etc. So many people invaded our country, but there has been no prabhava on Bharat and its culture. Why? Because spirituality or adhyatmikata of Bharat is cannot be influenced because it is swabhava. It's not prabhava. If suppose I give you a glass of milk, and then if you want to sweeten it, you have to add some sugar to it. Unless you add sugar, either you can't sweeten it more. You can reduce sweetness by reducing sugar. So you can influence the sweetness of this one. But suppose I give you sugar itself. How much ever you wash it, will its sweetness go? You want to get rid of the sweetness of the sugar, will it go? It is swabhava. So Bharatiyata is there as the spirituality or adhyatmikata is its swabhava, and therefore it cannot be influenced. There is no prabhava of any other external. Now let's come to the word samskriti. Samskaroti, it is samskriti. So we come across this word just to scare you. Sanskrit, in Sanskrit, no? Samyak. Samyak kriti is samskriti. Sam is a upasarga, prefix. Kr is a dhatu. And ting pratyaya or suffix. Together it's called samskriti. Okay. So what does samskriti mean? Loosely means, it means, kr means to do. Sam means to do it properly or to do it holistically. So in our samskriti, everything is done perfectly and holistically. And therefore, this word culture you would have heard, right? Culture, where else you heard the word culture? Some English words, common words, culture. Agriculture. See, all of you agree with this culture. Agriculture, yes. Agriculture, sericulture, agriculture, horticulture, culture, tissue culture. In lab we do tissue culture. So culture means to provide an environment for growth. That's what culture. Nowadays we have other newer, after Western influence, no? We have other cultures also, no? Like cancel culture. You heard of cancel culture? in social media and all, if you want to target somebody, everybody targets and then ensures that he withdraws his position on something. That's called cancel culture in social media. That's cancel culture. Now, so new cultures are coming up. In Bangalore, you don't even have to mention, there is something called PUB culture. Right? Pop culture is there. That's also one culture, because anything that sets a pattern, right, of a new thing, that loosely they use this culture. What we are referring to is none of these prefixes are applicable to this Sanskriti, where we call it culture. Bharatasya pratishthe dve, Bharatasya pratishthe dve. The honor of Bharat are in two, Sanskritam, Sanskritis tatha. One is Sanskrita, one is Sanskriti. These are the two honor or prestige of the holy land of Bharat. So this, when you say do, it is assumed that who can do things? For doing things, you require thought, right? And you need buddhi, right? So who can do things? Only human beings. So Sanskrit is applicable only to human beings. That's the reason why I hope all of us are sitting here. Ahara nidra bhayamaituluncha samanameta pashubhir naranam. Ahara, nidra, eating, drinking, sleeping, procreation, fear, survival. All this is common for everyone. But what? Dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshaha. Or buddhi tesham adhiko visheshaha. The power of discrimination is what is unique, USP of human beings. Therefore, culture is a word that is applicable only to humans. Which means what? If something that is uniquely gifted to us, and if we don't use it, next time, it won't be given. Simple. If you don't use, I'll give you a free mobile, and then after some, 1 year I realized that you have not even opened that as a birthday gift. Next year birthday, I will not give you anything. Because anyway, it's a waste of money and resources. God is also like that. So whatever is unique, buddhi, converted into culture, if you don't use it, because that is the specialty of human beings. Unfortunately, nobody is using it. So sometimes the poets can be very, very blunt. Yesham na vidya na tapo na dhanam jnanam na sheelam na dharmaha te matya loke bhuvibhara bhutaha manushya rupena mrugascharanti. Whoever does not have dhanam, sheelam, gunam, dharmam, in any of these vidya, tapas, if any of these are not there, they are only a burden to this, on this earth, consuming tons and tons of food. And then becoming a burden on earth, te matya loke bhuvibhara bhuta manushya rupena mrugascharanti. They are animals roaming in the form of human beings. I hope we are not roaming here like that. We are genuinely human beings. For that, we need to prove ourselves. So Swami himself has said, end of culture is, end of education is character. End of culture is, end of knowledge is freedom. End of knowledge is freedom. End of culture is perfection. End of culture is perfection. Swami is the perfect embodiment of culture, means anything that he says, does, things, you see, watch him, etc., it will be perfect. That's why the prefix sam is used for kriti. Whatever you do, it has to be absolutely picture perfect. Samyak kritihi, it is samskritihi. So we are endeavoring towards that refinement. Right? In a loose sense, culture means what? Refinement. Refinement. When you refine something, refined oil is there. Crude oil is costlier, refined oil is costlier. Refined oil is costlier because refined petroleum refinery is there. Why? If you, when you get a moody, ore and which is raw, unless you refine it, no, the impurities are taken away and then it adds value. Its value grows higher and higher, which means with culture, our value grows. Otherwise, what's the difference between animals and us? So we need to get rid of all the animal, the dross of animal qualities, etc. Then man's value keeps increasing till such time we become divine. So that is the reason why in India, who is considered as the ideal man? Rama. At the starting itself, the question that Valmiki asked, sage Valmiki asked Narada, who is that person? Is there a single man alive today and now who has all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16 qualities are enumerated? Yes, that person is alive today, and Ramayana is the story of Rama. How to become Rama. The journey of Rama. The journey of Rama, if we hear, then our journey is to become Rama. Ideal. We have to become the ideal person, ideal, that's what we call Rama. But any other definition that Swami has given, culture means, for in a very loose sense, it is way of life. It's just a way of life. If culture is restricted to one part of our life, then it is no longer culture. Everything that we do, there is an element of culture in that. Also, another definition that Swami has given is culture is concern for others. That's why we say, if somebody is, say, in metro, you'll be going and sitting, and then some old man comes, and you are happily putting one leg on the other and sitting, then they'll say, this fellow is a cultureless fellow. Doesn't have any culture. Why? Because you don't have concern. If the concern is not there for others, what kind of culture is that? You are not refined inwardly. So these are some of the aspects of samskriti. How many of you have, can identify what this is about? What is that person showing? Saptarishi, sir. Arundhati Nakshatra. You know what it is? Have you seen? How many of you have seen under Arundhati Nakshatra? How many of you have been shown Arundhati Nakshatra? You cannot see on your own. Somebody has to show. Even if you see, it's directly there, you cannot see. You understand my question, right? How many of you have been shown Arundhati Nakshatra? One. Basically, how many of you are married? In Indian tradition, that's a Hindu parinayam, they say, no? There, you are being shown a star. Why is being shown? You can see yourself, no? Same sky is there, I can also see. Why somebody else has to show you? He is actually pointing out, saying that you should be like that. Then you should also show, you should be like that. One more nakshatra, Saptarishi is there, no? Or Arundhati is the wife of sage Vasishtha. She is considered the ideal of womanhood. So, why this Nyaya is required? Arundhati Darshana Nyaya, which means, suppose actually right now the moon is shown there, but during marriages, morning time also they show you. You can imagine, virtual, everything is virtual. Others may not see, but Kavihi Kranta Darshivi, they can see. Their vision is beyond it. So, why they show that? You are not able to see the star in the sky, because there are so many stars, thousands and thousands of stars are there. So what they do is, they take some reference. It can be a tree or a branch or a flower, and then say, can you see that branch? And then above that flower, you see that nakshatra, that is the one. That star is there above the flower. Is the star there above the flower? No. But that star, that flower will help you to focus your gaze on the star. So you are taking that as alambanam. Alambanam means just as a support or a help to go to the actual thing. What you cannot see, you have to start with what you can see. In the process of teaching or learning, you have to start with something which you know, and then only you can go to something which you don't know. Now, what is it that we know here, and what we don't know? So we are talking about culture, Bharatiya culture. Can you tell here what you can see and what you are experiencing, which you can say it is associated with Bharatiya culture? Here and now. Before we go to the actual Bharatiya culture, already half an hour is over.
Greeting by touch and feel. Lighting lamp.
Okay, lighting lamp, Vedam chanting, greeting by touching feet, bhajans, then
Listening to you.
thank you. Even listening to me is, yeah, it's actually culture. If you sleep, no, that is not Sabha Maryada. Sabha Maryada means that is not proper culture. When somebody is spending their time and energy, you cannot sleep, right? That is not considered, if not concern for others, not concern for me. No concern for me. That is not considered culture. Anything else? Sorry? No, now here. Whatever you are doing here.
Sitting properly.
Exactly. Sitting properly means, how do you sit properly? You are not shaking your legs. You are not stretching your legs and putting on the next person's feet, holy feet or something. You are not doing all that. So there is some culture that you are following. Anything else? When you enter this hospital itself, no, is a reflection of the culture, right? The architecture of the hospital, the way it appears like a temple. That's a part of the culture. So as soon as you enter, there is an altar. So first place is given to God. That is part of our culture. There is an altar even in this room. There is a chair for Swami. Before coming to this one, everybody goes and offers their pranams to Swami. These are part of our culture.
Removing our footwear, I think it's a very good culture we have, right?
Which
Our footwear is outside.
Yeah, yes, it's not wearing footwear and leaving it inside. That shows our respect for the occasion and the people here. That's also, yes, that's a very good point with culture. But the same culture, if you don't understand the spirit of it, I went to Indian Institute of Science, which is one of the premier institutes, right? On conference, lighting lamp and all is quite outdated. This one, right? So the lamp they wanted, but instead of all the wicks, right, they put LED, this one, and then each one comes. So there's a switch to each. Everybody comes. They have been invited. Jyoti Prajvalana. Each one comes and switches on one LED, and then goes. So now this is actually a problem with adapting technology or super. But there is a symbolism associated with that. The lamp lighting itself actually is an act of the process by which you that is Guru. Everything is available, but if somebody is there who does not like it, on its own will everything light itself? No, the Guru is required. And that light or the warmth that is coming out of it, it always, fire points upwards. Fire always, flame always goes upwards. That means knowledge or wisdom will always takes you higher. So all these are symbolic. It's not only about the physical. Jyoti, e-lighting of Jyoti and all that is a sort of misunderstood concept of. So, if you see the cultural elements, right, when somebody asks you a general knowledge question, 10 marks, in whichever entrance exam says, right, Indian culture, 10 marks. What are the different subheadings you do? Don't tell me the entire answer, only the subheadings. You can see all those elements just shown there. What will that be? Just as an example, what would that include?
Respect for elders.
What comes to your mind?
Dance.
So respect for elders. That means basically some customs, some traditions. Then
Art forms.
art forms. Then
Food.
food,
Festivals.
festivals.
Different state, different cultures. Yogasana.
Sorry,
Yogasana.
yogasana. Or some spiritual practices, some religious practices. Then
Dressing culture.
dress. That's good. Music.
Heritage, temples, etc.
Exactly. Temples, heritage. So handicraft, painting. I mean. Entertainment. The philosophy philosophy that you follow in life, your thought process, your view of life, your view of yourself, your view of creation, your view of creator, all this is sort of part of culture. Most visible part of it is when we celebrate festivals, that's when the whole TV media and says rich display of culture, etc., etc. Basically, display of clothing,
Colors.
roti, kapda, makan. Basically, we will. So the kind of color that we wear in India, each color has got a different interpretation in our culture. So we don't use red clothes, pure red this one, no? Because it is we use, but there is a context in it. We use red, vermilion, dark in the this one, or we use vibhuti. Each one has got its own significance. So color also, white has its significance. Pitambara color, that has got its own significance. Blue color of Rama, it has its significance. Everything is symbolic and with some inner significance. We don't wear black, pure black, because it's considered tamas. So, like that, every aspect which is externally visible, there are elements of culture. But why culture? Why Samskriti? Mahatma Gandhi said, a nation's culture resides. See, in a hospital context, I'm saying, so if suppose you have a heart problem and you have itching problem, or you have a dandruff problem or something like that, which has been bothering you for several years, and they said that if you take some medicine, it will eventually get cured, but that will take 3 years. But because of your heart problem, you may die next week. So, will you invest your time in your other things? Because if your heart is not fine, whatever else is fine, doesn't make any sense. Correct, right? So, first thing is that culture is like the heart or the soul of the nation. If that is not fine, if you protect that, then if you protect the heart, then the heart will protect you. First, you should protect the heart, no? If you want to be alive, then whatever is keeping you alive, you have to first keep it alive. One of the super specialties there in this hospital is heart, because that is so important. So, they say, what is the use of winning the whole world, but lose your soul? See, in other cultures like Egyptian pyramids, you heard of Egyptian of Babylonia. So all these are considered some 7 wonders and all that. So all of them have been reduced to dust because of the ravages of time. Because all of them are, their culture stood in their brick and mortar. So pyramids reduced to dust, some remnants are there. Babylonian hanging gardens were there, they got hanged. Dead. But what happens to Indian culture? The Ayodhya temple was destroyed 500 years ago. But in every street, during the Dashara, there will be Ravana Dahan. And the faith in Rama is growing stronger and stronger in the hearts of people. Our culture does not stand on the brick and mortars of which are Nashvara, they say, no? Because the ravages of time, they will disappear one day. Our culture has never been founded on these principles, on these temporary things. So what did they find them in? Our culture is a Vedic culture. You heard that? Ours is a Vedic culture. Vedas are Shabda Brahman. Shabda Brahmamayi, Charajaramayi, Jyotirmayi. So one of the French philosophers or scientists, he said, see the ingenuity of the rishis of Bharatiya culture. They safeguarded their culture by embedding it in sounds which are there in the air. Nobody can destroy it. What can you destroy something which is there in thin air? If you want to destroy whatever you want, whatever I am speaking, destroy it. What will you destroy? It is there in thin air. So our culture is not dependent. That's why 17 times you break the Somanath temple, nothing will happen to the faith. Nothing will shake the faith of Indians. Because Shiva, as far as we are concerned, Gundilla unnadu. It is not in the temple, it is there in the heart. You see any of Swami's this one, he will say, God resides in your heart. Don't worry about physical temples. That doesn't mean that you should not go to temples. That is a one step. For a PP1 person, before he goes to 10th class, he still needs some, cursory writing. But ultimately, that is where we need to go. So ours is a Vedic culture. That is why Ayodhya temple may not be there. Will still continue to be ruling the hearts of Bharatiyas. So if you protect culture, culture will protect you. One interesting tidbit, general knowledge tidbit, it says when World War II, America decided to bomb Japan, atom bomb. They wanted, and they knew that the impact of that is going to sort of wipe out the entire, whichever place they're going to, is going to wipe out several kilometers in diameter. So they were actually finalizing which is the best place to actually cause havoc on Japan. And the person who was deciding that, everybody decided it's going to be a place called Kyoto in Japan. Then the person who was actually finalizing that, he had some reservation. He said, I went to that place, it is so rich in natural resources and culture, it will be so unfortunate if we destroy that place. And so he decided that they would bomb Nagasaki and not Kyoto. So by the sheer culture of that place, it got saved. So if you want to save the country, you have to save its culture. That is most important. Now, the most unique feature of Indian culture is it is God-centric. That is why Bharatiya Samskriti and Adhyatmikata, spirituality is the core of Bharatiya Samskriti. Why? And spirituality, these are inseparable. Spirituality is the core of Bharatiya Samskriti. Without that spirituality, what is spirituality? Adhyatmikata means what? Adhi means connected to, related to. Atma means self or soul. Or in our case, this Atma and that Paramatma are the same. Yashti, Samishti, all one and same. That is our Arshadrishti, the Rishi's vision. So that is the core of Bharatiya Samskriti. That is why the best way to make something immortal, even if it's a very small and silly thing, right? The best way to make it very, very popular and everlasting is by associating it with something which is immortal. So that is why, for example, if I use a cricket bat, and then, I passed my youth, so cricket bat is good. I would like to sell it to my friend or somebody, my friend's son or someone, second hand. How much will you give that cricket bat? I'll tell, I'll little market saying that, I scored a lot of runs with this. You also might score, it's a very good wood that is made of. How much will you pay? He'll say, maximum I'll give you 25 rupees. That's all that. No, if you want to sell, otherwise, so the cricket bat has no value. But what if I say that when Tendulkar came to my home, he actually used this bat and played. Really, Tendulkar touched it. Now what is its value?
25,000.
If Bradman's bat is put for auction, right, it will be in several lakhs and crores and maybe, it depends on how mad you are or how you think is the value of Bradman. So, by just associating itself with something great, right, that becomes great. So, Bharatiya Samskriti, by associating itself with God, it has acquired all the properties of God, which is immortal. So, whatever small things that we are doing also are actually immortal. See, when we do Ganesh Puja, right? First, any Puja, what do we do? First Puja, we make Ganesha. Asmin Haridra Bimbe, a small turmeric we take, put that, and then say Asmin Haridra Bimbe, Sumukham Ganesham, Avahayami, Thapayami, Pujayami. What is turmeric? What is its value? You use it adding flavor to sambar. But now you put that and then say, I am invoking Lord Ganesha inside this means. After that, you are like this. We don't do that to Sambar also, but we do it to that small mound of turmeric. Because now turmeric is no longer ordinary turmeric. It is now associated with the divine. So always the secret to becoming great is associate yourself with God. Then automatically you become, Swami says, Na charitralo chedipovali. You want to become immortal, become associate, be part of me, my charitra, my history, his story. You become part of mine. How to become part of his story? Become part of his mission. Now you become part of his story. Then you become immortal. So that is the beauty of Bharatiya culture. So in every aspect of Bharatiya in Sanskriti, God is the source, God is the purpose. And purpose is moksha. Bharatiya Sanskriti is moksha-darini. Whatever simple things that you follow also, they will grant you moksha. In our culture, Sanskriti, God is not somebody who sits in some high heavens and then says, I will punish you if you don't do what I say. That is not our concept of God. Our concept of God is our mother, father, guru, daivam, everything. He is there within my heart. And therefore, you don't have to fear God. You have to love God. Daiva Preeti. Preeti should be there. That's only part of Preeti. It is a concept of Sharira Atma. Just like Sharira and Atma is there, this is called Pindana. That is called Brahmanda. God is there, just like Atma is there in this body, God is there in Brahmanda. Which means the same concept. This is microcosm, that is macrocosm. If you can understand this, you can understand that. If you can understand that, you have to understand this first. Therefore, there is no clear differentiation between God is sitting somewhere else and after I die I will go there. No, it is here and now. God is nowhere. From there you have to go to God is now here. So there is so much of variety in creation. For us, how many gods are there? Infinite. Why? Because I can create a God here and now. Actually, all of us keep Ganesha Chaturthi comes. Don't we create a Kargil? What happened? Then Kargil Ganesha came. You have not heard of Kargil Ganesha? Then Bahubali movie was released. Bahubali Ganesha came. We are free to choose or make. You may think this is all insanity. Our thinking is we want God to be associated, be part of our entertainment also. He may feel, may take objection to it, but we like to, if we attend a party, be part of my party also. That is how we make him part of it. So that is why for every God, we are free to make our own gods, and the number of forms of gods are infinite. Why? Because Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kama Rupini. This means what? Kama Rupini means however you wish. Previously, Kama Rupas means Rakshasas used to take Kama Rupas. They can become goat, they can become snake, they can become this. That is their wish. Gods will take the form which you wish, not their wish. If it is your wish, I want to see God like this. It will appear like that because it is your wish. Your wish is my command. God is taking your wish as his command and then obeying. I come from a place called Bhadra, right? When Bhadra, there is a sage, and he was a great fan, not even fan, fanatic, jihadi of Lord Rama. He says, I am praying for Lord Rama, but Lord Rama left in Treta Yuga. This is Kali Yuga. Then he is praying, and then where is Lord Rama? Lord Rama left to heavenly abode, became Lord Vishnu again. Now Lord Vishnu appeared. Then he said, open your eyes. He said, where is Lord Rama? He said, no, I am only Lord Rama. He said, but I prayed for Lord Rama. Why did you come in this form? No. Lord Rama has left his body, right? So this is his original body. He said, no, I would like to see Rama. He said, now how do I show you Rama? Because Rama can never be alone. He has always been with Sita. Rama is never alone with Sita. So now Lakshmi Devi has to also be invited to the darshan. And he changed himself to Lord Rama's form. But because he's already come, he has already four arms. So, Shankha Chakra, Gada Chakra, in a confusion, Shankha Chakra also got interchanged. Because the devotee is putting pressure on God. No, what is this? What did I ask? What are you doing? No, one second, give me some time. And then in that confusion, and then he stayed like that. So even now in Bhadrashram, Lord Rama has got this mixed up, swapped Shankha Chakra, and he has 4 hands. You will never find Lord Rama with 4 hands, which means the devotee is the one who dictates to God what he should do. If Prahlada says, I think you are here, he has to come from that pillar only. He cannot choose that pillar, another pillar also. That choice also he does not have. He has to come from there because that's the condition. And he cannot cross the line. Not devotee crossing line. God cannot cross the Lakshmana Rekha. The devotee has drawn. Lakshmana has drawn the Lakshmana Rekha for Sita. No? Sita says, you cannot cross this. Sita is the mother divine. Don't cross this line. But of course she crossed there for a different reason. So that is our gods are created. That is why infinite forms. We make in Tirupati Brahmotsavas, Lord Venkateshwara made a female. Now you are not answering cleverly. Because you can say anything. There is a Mohini avatar. Mohini avatar. We are perfectly comfortable. See, in our culture also, small children, no? They are the boys, they are dressed as girls. In this small children. And then girls, they are dressed as Krishna. No, Krishna is man, no. This is a girl, no. All that is your thinking and understanding. We are far beyond physical understanding of any of this. So that is, I think I will shortly be run out. So I will skip. I will just introduce you to the concepts. This is only a starter. Basically, you are definitely going to miss the meaning. Only gobi manchuria, baby corn, you are just putting inside and then, leave the food there and then walk away. But you only paid for it. So what are the unique features of Sanatana Dharma or this culture? It is unity in diversity, as I said. No? Complete unity is in spirit. Diversity is in the mind. Mind always wants variety, right? Infinite amount of variety. But even in the entire variety, the spirit is one. Therefore, unity in diversity. Universal welfare. Always our culture has said, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayana. Integration and acceptance. It is not that so many people, Muslims have come, Christians have come, everybody has come. It is not that we tolerate them. Tolerance is a wrong word. We accept them. We are accepting. Accepting is wholeheartedly. You are tolerating me or you are accepting me? So it's okay that we tolerate someone, 10 more minutes we tolerate you. That means okay, you can go ahead doing whatever you want, though I don't like. That is tolerance. Here it's not about Hindus are not tolerant. They accept everything wholeheartedly because they see the unity in the entire creation. Worship of nature. As soon as you get up, you teach the child before putting your leg on earth, Samudra Vasane Devi, Parvatastana Mandale. We revere Mother Earth as Mother Earth. Vayu Deva, Agni Deva, Surya Deva, Chandra Deva. For us, water, air, Agni, fire, sun, moon, everything is divine. Stone, mountain, plant, everything is divine. Everything is divine. So our worship of nature, that is why Bharatiya culture, because we worship nature, it's not that we respect nature, we go one step beyond, we worship nature. Therefore, in Bharatiya Samskriti, we will never ever pollute nature or cause harm to it. So you can't find a more eco-friendly Samskriti than Bharatiya. Focus on inner well-being. We never pursue materialistic things externally, because if inside you are not fine, no, you can live in a palace, but still you will never feel happy. But if you are internally sorted out, you are completely clear and happy, you can stay in the street, Suramandira Taru Mula Nivasa, you can stay below the tree, earth below and the sky above, and still I can be blissful, scientific and logical. You will never find a Samskriti which is more scientific and logical. which festival has to be celebrated at which part of the year, how will the climate be, what prasadam is most suitable for that particular climate. Also, summer, Ramanavami comes, therefore Panakam. Panakam with pepper is cools the body. Therefore, that is it. Ganesh Chaturthi, because rainy season, we do Ekamishan Puja, Patra Puja. Why? Those got medicinal herbs, which they are again mixed in the water, local water bodies, which will purify and cleanse. You take like this any example, Navaratri, Shivaratri, Jagarana, Vai, Upavasa, Ashtadhana, Ekadashi, you can take anything. Everything is scientific and logical. It touches every human domain of human experience. There is nothing that is left out. It is finance or economics or entertainment or arts, whatever it is, Purusharthas. Basically, the fundamentals of Sanatana Samriddhi are Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha are the four Purusharthas which we need to, and Varna Dharma. Varna Dharma means how should the society structure be? How they are divided based on functional classification, which are wrongly associated, misconceived as caste system. Varnashrama Dharma. Then Ashrama Dharma. How should we lead our life? What you should do during Brahmacharya, student days, what you should do? You should study. Brahmena Charati. Charati means moving around. Brahma means Brahmartham. That means Vedartham, to acquire knowledge. Not for entertainment. You don't use student life for entertainment. What Grihastha should be? For ensuring that there is progeny, taking care of children, doing your duties, Atithi Satkara. So the entire society is dependent on the Grihasthas for their sustenance and living. When you should actually give up. Give up means retire. Voluntary retirement from not work, from family life. Voluntary retirement from family life. You have to prepare yourself for Vanaprastha or Sannyasa, because at some point in time, one of you is going to pass away. One of you is going to pass away. Both together, there is no such offer, no, always. So you need to prepare your mind to live alone. So detachment has to set in. So you need to voluntarily. So that ashrama, that is the kings in our olden days, even though they were at the peak of their whatever power, etc., they were voluntarily said, I will hand it over to the next generation and walk away to the forest. Not hold on to power till the last breath. That was not the culture. Law of karma. That is the cornerstone of Bharatiya Samskriti, because when you have fear that you are accountable for whatever you do, it is actually both an incentive that if you do punya, rakshanti punyani purakritani. Your whatever old merits are there, it will protect you. But there will be fear of sin, because if I do now, someday or the other, Karmadata Vashama, Naruda, Karmadata Vashama. Kadantora, Nirantera, Kavalana, Yukuvadadara. How much is your capacity? That much alone you will get. Not a drop more, not a drop less. So be careful whenever you think or say or act. All our, I told you the other aspect is Sanskritam. Sanskritam has originated from Lord Shiva's Damaru. So our language itself is divine because its origin is Shiva's Damaru. What came out of Damaru? Vrittavasane, Nataraja Rajo, Nanada Gharkam, Navapanchavaram, Uddhattu Kamaha, Sanakadi Siddha, Etat Vimarshe, Shivasutra Jalam. 14 sounds came from the Damaru. Adikun, Ridrit, Eom, I Ouch, Hayavarat, Lan, Yaman, Gananam, Chapane, Khadatash, Jabagadatash, Khapa, Chatata, Chatatav, Kapai, Shashasar, Hal. These are the 14 sounds that came from Lord Shiva's Damaru. From there, our entire Aksharamala, Varnamala, everything came. So all the sounds that we are producing in Sanskrit, all the mantras, the entire Veda Vahamaya, the source of it is Lord Shiva. Source always is the divine. Our art forms are not invented by some human. They are originated from divine. That is why Sanskrit is considered Girmana Bhasha, Madhura, it's very sweet. The speciality of that is it is sound based and not lipi based. So sound based ones, one nation, one election, something, one nation, one network, one nation, something. Here Sanskrit, one syllable, one sound. So chair starts with C, cat starts with C, but one is cha, one is ka in English. Chair, cat, both are C's only. But one is cha, one is ka. Doesn't make any sense, no? No? What is the spelling of no? See, you don't know. No, you don't know. Because it can be N-O or it can be K-N-O-W. You cannot make out whether it is this or that. Because sound is same, spelling is different. That is why in English there is a dictionary, for Sanskrit there is no dictionary. So, this is Sanskrit. Then Sangeetam. This, it became Sabgeetam. Sabgeetam means everything ending is Geetam. Sangeetam is also has origins in the divine. Sari Gama Padani Vara Saptaswara Nada Anumanisham Shankaram. Tyagaraja sang that. All the Sari Gama Padani originated from Lord Shankara. Shastras, our Shruti, Sutras, Smriti, Puranas, Ityasas, Bhashyam, there is an entire range of Vangmaya, literature, which is so infinite. Even if you have to tell stories in India, right, the number of stories are infinite in our Puranas. There is no end to that. And these are not like Harry Potter stories, fictional stories. Each one has got a moral. There is dharma associated with that. So those are our Shastras. Obviously, festivals and temples are the epicenters of the times and the places where our culture is expressed. Now, coming to the final point. Generally, when there is a problem, you search for a solution, right? But in 1960s, somebody discovered or invented a laser. So the laser had so many properties, but they didn't know what is the problem, where to use it. So solution was there, but what is the problem, we don't know. So solution in such a problem. Bharatiya Samskriti is like that, where solution is already there. As and when problems are appearing in the fullness of time, right, you have to find what is the relevant solution which is already available. So any modernity, the technology may increase, modernity may increase. How many more problems come, the solution is already available. So these are so many human values that are ingrained or encouraged in our Sanatana Dharma. It works at individual level, family level, community level, nation, world, and universe. You know the Chinnakatha where a world map is drawn and then a kid is asked to put it together, and then he puts it together in a very short span of time, because on the other side there is a human body. If you make man, the world is automatically made. So individual is the focus of, is the fundamental of this one. The entire Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu is the goal. For that, it has to start from the individual, and that is culture. So if the individual has to be defined, where there is righteousness in heart, there will be beauty in character. Where there is beauty in character, there will be harmony in home. When there is harmony in home, then only there will be order in nation. If there is order in nation, there will be peace in the world. So, for Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu, for all the family problems, for all the individual problems, having Bharatiya Samskriti as the basis will solve all your problems. And finally, in this very place, hospital, 19 January 2002, when someone was giving the discourse, he said, Bharatiyas are like the elephants. Yenu kettula tana balamu taanirugado attulainaru bharatiyulu nedu. Which means a huge elephant which can lift easily tons and tons of things. One small kutti fellow will climb on top of it, Mahout. It will be so lean and thin and skeleton this one. He will take a small board and then say sit, means it will sit. Stand, pick up all the wood and put it there, it will do. Why? Why is it in the control of one small fellow? Because it does not know or is not aware of its own strength. That is why so now all of us have become like those elephants which are unaware or ignorant of our own strength. Our strength lies in our culture. Cheering India when Pakistan match is going on, many people think that is patriotism. That is not patriotism. Patriotism is just like the soldiers are guarding the borders of India, protecting it from external enemies. The inner enemies, just like man has got inner Arishat Vargas, there is influence of Western civilization on India which is eating away its roots. And one day, when the roots are eaten, the tree will fall. So we are supposed to be the guardians of that culture. And Swami is banking on all of you as youth to actually carry forward his mission to resurrect Bharatiya Samskriti so that India can regain its position as Vishwaguru. Now it is left to us whether we will rise to that. Jai Sathya.
Some people say that you have to get married and have a family life and then you have to go to sannyasa. But there were some great sages who never married and who had the brahmacharya life throughout their life. So which one to follow? Like both are accepted in our Indian culture and both are spoken in the Vedas. So which one to follow?
They say that one should never imitate. It's like Krishna lifted a mountain and he danced on a snake. So if you want to become as great as Krishna, then we have to dance on snake. Actually, we won't dance on because on the snake, as soon as we see the snake, we start dancing it. So whenever we want to follow somebody, right, they say you have to follow the master. But if you imitate a master, so the people whom you are referring to, obviously all of them have attained a level of refinement within, right? So each one of our journeys is different. So they say that the fastest, basically what is sannyasa? Sannyasa is samyak nyasam, or completely renounce, samyak, completely not out of frustration with life, no? It is out of genuine vairagya. And they say that the fastest way to get vairagya is to get married. So, I mean, on the lighter side, but also on the lesson, when you actually go through the rigmarole of the Grihastha Ashrama, you will actually realize that, yes, all the pleasures and what you need to derive out of it, you have tasted, and then you know that you are now fully knowledgeable. It's not that out of inexperience you are jumping the gun. You are going through that, know what are its limitations, how much can you derive out of it, and then informed call that yes, this has got its limit. Now I will get a greater. My higher purpose in life is moksha, and therefore you have crossed dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Right? These are the four purusharthas. So artha and kama are reserved for Grihastha Ashrama. Then you have to start your journey towards the other goal that is left, because all four are equally important. So you have to start your journey towards moksha. Therefore, after you're completely satisfied or done with your duties, then you have to proceed to the next step. If you skip, so there are two types of sannyasis, right? They call Vidvat sannyasi and Vividisha sannyasi or something. If somebody takes to sannyasa because he is already realized, and he doesn't need sannyasa because he's still a seeker, he's a siddha. Therefore, he has directly jumped to sannyasa. But some people take sannyasa because they want to seek the truth. So that means you are still in the process, in the path. So at that time, if you directly jump to this one, you have not that 1 year mandatory course without doing that this one, you directly join say 11th class or something, no? 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, those basics are not there. Then you will not be able to go to that next step. So for a normal person who is evolving, right, seeking something, the sequence is important. But maybe there are some exceptions where if you are refined enough, if you have your past vasanas, you have already crossed all that stage. You are only seeing one instance of it, that in this janma, he has done that. You don't know in the past what has happened, right? Maybe he has gone through all that and then only realized and come here. At some point of time, that soul has to experience it. So we should not take only a snapshot of that and jump to conclusions. So, of course, yadyadachariti sreshthaha tattat deve itro janaha sarya pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. The great men set examples for others to follow. But you should know whom to follow. If you take the wrong role model, then you are doomed.
Understood, sir. Thank you. One more question.
in some parts of India, even Hanumanji is considered to have a wife. Is it true? Do you know? Sorry.
The beauty is you are asking a question about a Vanaprastham and Gurvastashram to a person who is still in Brahmacharya.
Yes, I didn't know.
No, you don't have to feel sorry. No, actually, again, our scriptures are so vast that you will find so many different stories. There is no, unless it has got a scriptural basis for it, right? Actually, personally, I don't know the answer to this question, but Lord Hanuman is considered as Ajanma Brahmachari. And just to distinguish between your understanding of Brahmachari, right?
Yeah.
For your information, another Ajanma Brahmachari is there. His name was? I tell you, Lord Krishna.
Yes.
Nitya Brahmachari. He was always a Brahmachari. Then now we'll say what is the definition of Brahmachari. You have to redefine what is Brahmachari. You are thinking that Brahmachari means somebody who is not married. That is not the definition of Brahmachari. Actually, 4 ashramas are there, right? Brahmacharya, Grihastha. So most of the people will say Brahmacharya means not married. And next stage is getting married. These are not the stages. Brahmacharya means Brahmartham, Vedartham, Vratam Charati, which means you follow a particular discipline, Vratam, you follow for the sake of Brahmartham or to study Vedas, or here in this case, pursue education. It has nothing to do with marriage at all. In the spirit of this. Why is Krishna considered as Nitya Brahmachari? You would have heard the story where Swami himself has said, I think, some gopikas, when they were along with Krishna on Yamuna bank, on the other side, says Durvasa had come. And then Lord Krishna tells him, see, this is a very great opportunity. Somebody like, say, Durvasa has come. So I think you should offer him hospitality. It will look good to you. Then they got all flowers, fruits, everything to for his worship and to feed him. And then when they went to the banks of river Yamuna, they found that the river Yamuna was in a state. And so much of water was flowing, flooding. Then they didn't know what to do. How to go to the other bank to offer our respects to Saint Durvasa. Then they came back to Lord Krishna and said, how should we solve this problem? He said, no, it's a very simple thing. Go and pray to Mother Yamuna that if Krishna is a Nitya Brahmachari, then please part way. They were confused. You are Nitya Brahmachari. 16,108 wives. It's not even a small number. It's actually the other way around, if at all. So how can you do this? He said, do what I said. Then they go and then pray to Mother Yamuna. If Krishna is a Nitya Brahmachari, please give way. And surprisingly, nature will obey if it's only truth. If you are bound, if the statement is true only, the gods and the natures will obey. Nature will obey. Otherwise, it will not. That is the acid test for whether something is true or not. If you say, if I am so and so, may the sun not rise. And if it is true, it won't rise, like how Sathya did. So every morning, every night I say, if I am so and so, tomorrow let there be sunrise. Tomorrow sunrise is there. You should say something which cannot happen. You should not say which anyway will happen and then say that, see, I told and it happened. It is not like so. He said, if the Yamuna obeys and then it gives way. Though they are surprised, they go to the other bank because the time is running out. Now, even here also, and for Durvasa also. Durvasa, then he goes there, and then they offer him, he eats his stomach full. And then again the path which is open now gets closed. And again there's water in a spade. Now Krishna is not there, Krishna is there on the other bank. So now what to do? They go back to say Durvasa and says, can you help us out in this predicament? He says, no, it's a very simple thing. Just say, if Sage Durvasa is a Nitya Upavasi, let it give way. Just now he ate half the entire thing, whatever we have this one. And he says, if it is a Nitya Upavasi, he please give way. Then they go and then do that. And the Yamuna parts and go to the other side. So these, obviously they are illiterate, simple people like us. No? So they don't understand what is happening, how can Krishna be Brahmachari, how can say Durvasa. In front of our eyes, he ate so much. And then Yamuna is saying, no, he didn't eat anything. In reality, when we chant Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, who is eating? That is why we eat more because we have to feed him, not me. Why are you eating so many pizzas and all that? Means I will offer it to the God. I am not eating it. No. You don't mean it. If you really have that power, then you won't be eating pizza in the first place. So, if whoever is there in that state of consciousness, they are not even associated with that body. So if Krishna is the physical body only, he has 16,000 some number of vibes. He is supreme consciousness. He is not associated with the body only. All the vibes are associated with the body, and he is not the body. Therefore, I am Nitya Brahmachari. And who ate that entire thing? He really believes, experiences in the consciousness, and he has actually offered it to the Lord. Therefore, he is still hungry. He has not eaten anything. So that differentiation is there. So when you say whether Hanuman is Ajanma Brahmachari or not, if by definition of Brahmacharya, obviously Hanuman is the best of the Brahmacharis. Now the question whether he is married, not married, I think is left to debate.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for emphasizing on the points of Bharatiya Sanskriti, our culture. We now understand the spirit of our Bharatiya culture. I now request you to accept the small token of